Yep, thought so. First time I've used this since the latest update. You should be able to hear me now. Hey everyone! Welcome to this week's episode of Argo 37 and beyond. Before we get going, before we even talk about the opening links, thank you very much, Made of Cartoons, for that resub. That makes 2 months, and you have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice. Let's go round. Before we go round, do check out the opening links. We have there all of our things, all the places you can support us, places you can find us and our community and interact with us and come and be a part of the fun. Also check out our sponsor information, Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, who created this Dark Matter expansion for 5e, which allows you to play D&D in space, and we thoroughly recommend it. We'll go around and say hello to everyone. Before we do, let's address the missing V. Unfortunately, V had to take a step back due to work commitments. Unfortunately, they won't be participating in the campaign anymore. So there may be a little bit of a rough and ready landing today as we make that happen in the story. But bear with us all. I trust in Alice's ability. Alice, would you like to take over?
Yes, I'll take over. I just want to stress again. I think I made a post about it today, how much I love Dark Matter, because I really, really do. Otherwise, we're gonna hop around and we're gonna say hi, first of all, to the very lovely Crusade Warlords. Oh, hi. Who are you playing?
Hello, my name's Todd. I play Vega Rains, space pilot extraordinaire, cyber hacker, all-around fun guy who loves little robots. So so excited to be back after a couple of weeks off. We're gonna try to fill the hole that V left. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, V, maybe a little. But Alice is amazing, Scrat's amazing, Jess, we're all amazing. And just enjoy it. It's gonna be great.
Awesome, thank you. And then we are gonna hop over and say hi to Jess. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Sorry that took a second because I was about to yell at someone in chat who was giving Alice the advantage, and I was about to say, you monster, how dare you? Because you know that's going to be used against us. But I'm so happy to be here. Hi, I'm Jess. You can find me at @co_JG in most places. I am back to play Andy, and I'm so excited for this game because I love it so much. And I mean, I'm complaining, but I love how Alice torments us. It's so good.
Awesome, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Scrap.
Oh, hi. I'll be playing Blister, your nearly human chaos person. Breaks a lot of stuff. Loves beer.
Human Wismo.
Hey, yeah, human Wismo. That could work.
Okay. Human Wismo. Okay, so where we last left everyone off is Vega had rented out like this communal sort of like this meeting room in the hotel to have a meetup to try and clarify what the hell was going on as we were at this spaceport. And Vega and Andy, you're sat here as you're waiting for everyone to arrive. You can see Telemachus has got her big milkshake, which she somehow procured another one from somewhere, and you can hear that really loud, like sucking through a straw sound. And you sit there and you look across the table at each other for a moment, and it's like there's, you know, when there's heat in the air and then you get that distinct wave, there's like a distortion. And you look over at Telemachus for a brief moment, and she looks down at her milkshake, looks down at her hands and looks at you, and she disappears. And you can see Blister sat across the other end of the table, holding out his hands. Blister, you're looking at your hands and they're starting to shift and blur and change color.
I'll just put them in my pockets. Hope for the best.
As you do this, almost as you put your hands in your pockets, Andy and Vega, you see Blister disappear. And the chair just spins lightly where he sat.
What is happening?
I'm gonna jump across the table and grab Andy's like hand,
Yeah,
I
you
like
grab.
As if I'm afraid she's gonna disappear next.
I grab back. I'm just like, are we gonna disappear?
I don't know. Are the Wizmos in there? Is Cacklebox right next to me?
Yeah, you can see like Hacklebot is like sort of tucked in at your shoulder, and he himself is looking at his little like his spanner and his like little wearing clamp hand, and he sort of grabs like latches on to you, and as you both stare and look at each other, you see that shift, that color change, as if in the air there's like there's that heat wave, that judder, and then there's a moment of static. And it's almost like when you're watching a TV program and the sound is out of sync. Vega, as you watch Andy as she's talking to you, worried about that you're going to disappear, you see the sound is coming after the movement of her lips as she talks. And slowly, she starts to disappear. And Andy, you look over at Vega and you can see him slowly disappear. You can still feel each other holding on to each other. And you start to shift, and it's almost like that hotel meeting room around you just drops away. And you're both in darkness. Almost, you'd say it was through space. But there's no stars. There's no planets. There's nothing. It's like a void. As you fall away, you feel your stomachs drop, almost like you have literally fallen. And you start to fade away from each other. And Vega, you're gripping onto Andy's arm, and you can feel it disappearing, almost like it's becoming transparent, like see-through. And you both wink out of this existence. There is... Yeah, go.
Can I grab Cackle next? He's the only one left. I'll grab on.
Cacklebox is there. He seems to be attached to you and not actually disappearing. If he is, he must be disappearing with you because you can still see him. And you have this strange sort of motion, like you're spinning and whirling. And Vega, you feel like you're falling. Almost as if you were like on a slide. You're being thrown in every direction. And for a moment, there is a whoosh of color that sort of takes over around you, almost creating this tunnel. And you feel like a jump, like you hit something hard. And it's like your eyes have actually opened properly for the first time. And you're sat in the captain's seat of Argo, looking out. And your eyes feel very, very tired, very full of sleepy and heavy, as if you've been asleep for a while. But you can reach up, you can hear Cacklebox like sort of crackling and whirring as he you can feel him like clinging onto your vest. But you are there in this seat. You can see a screen come down where Argo's face seems to be there, hovering around, like registering information, scanning. You're not too sure what he's doing. But you look out on this huge sort of window, and the first thing you feel is this immense heat, this hot, sort of almost burning sensation, like if you were sat in the sun too long and you feel like you've got that side of your body that is warm. And you suddenly realize there's a strange tint to the windshield, almost like a sort of like a sun blocker, as half of the screen that takes up is this huge orange and red sort of magma ball of mass, this sun, and its rays are sort of like, you can see it sort of spitting out this molten, and you realize how close to this sun you are. And Andy,
can I immediately begin to back it up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you sort of reach out and you can start moving things and back it up. You don't seem to be going into the sun. it's almost like you're going past it, but you can feel the heat through. You can feel Argo heating up. And Andy, you too feel like you dropped, and you feel like that, almost like that hit of hitting something solid, and your head hurts. It's almost like you've just knocked it, not badly, it's just like you've bumped it. And you too feel that heat from these windows, and you sort of blink awake, and you see the windows in this lab are just orange, glaring through this bright sunlight, this heat. But you're in the lab of Argo, and propped up in the corner, who also looks to be coming round, is young Telemachus. No milkshake in hand, but seems to be winking awake, just like, ow.
What just happened?
And Telemachus looks around. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Why is it so bright? Like, and she starts like feeling around like some of these cupboards, and she opens one of them, and you see almost like these lab glasses but with a tint, and she sort of just skates them across the floor towards you before putting on these basically sunglasses, intense sunglasses, and puts them on. Like, I don't know what Argo's playing at, but we're definitely driving a bit too close, like whatever this is.
This seems ill-advised.
Yeah, maybe we should find the others. I don't understand why it's so. And she starts like crawling on all fours away from the window, because this one doesn't seem to have like a screen up, like a almost like a filter, basically.
Yeah. This is definitely not good for our retinas. Would not recommend this. Yeah, we should definitely go. Thank you for the eye protection. We should make sure everyone else has some too.
Yep. I'll grab some for Blister and Vega. Hang on. And she's like shoving them into the top of these like overalls, these dungarees, just like pulling out. You can see her reach for some after sun as well. You're not too sure why, but she tucks that into her dungarees and starts like moving out of the lab.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm like kind of just like hunched over, and shielding my face, and also have whatever she gave me on, and looking for everyone. Just like, hey, is everyone here?
And as soon as you like leave that lab, Telemachus slams on the button, the door closes, and you just feel that wave of cool, like it's like you've just stepped into the shade.
Oh my god, that's so much better.
And Blister, you have been on this ship for years on your own. And now you can hear a voice. Someone calling out hello. This ship has been drifting through space. You've been on your own the entire time after the accident, even though you're not too sure exactly what the accident was. You haven't seen another human being, let alone another person, in maybe 6 years. This is pre everything that happened.
Also, thank you very much, Isriver, who gives Andy a random roll table roll. I'll get up one of the tables.
Blister, what do you look like and where are you?
Well, there's no tie-dye on my cleaning overalls now, but I am wearing leather jacket and plain black cap backwards. I'll also be wearing sunglasses because Argo's decided to take us close to a sun, obviously. I have a baton at my belt, but other than that, I'm really quite plainly dressed. And I think 6 years without seeing anyone. I've drunk all the beer. There's no beer left. I'll hear the voice and Argo.
And that screen comes down. Yes, Blister. I know I'm too close. I am trying to steer us away now.
No, I've got every faith in you. But do you hear that voice on the ship?
Yes, there apparently seem to be 3 other life forms on board.
And you didn't anything to tell me?
Well, I was busy.
I mean, I'm the security officer. And all the other officers. And probably the captain.
And you see Argo blink a few times. There also seem to be some strange other entities on this ship. Almost like small robotic creatures. They seem to have infested the air ducts.
Oh no, we're not infested.
Yes, I know.
Alright, look, I'm gonna go and meet these other... What? I mean, I guess they must be like dignitaries or something, right?
And Argo just lets out like this big sigh. He's like, look, it's just been me and you for the last 6 years. I don't really know what's going on. I can't
been
do
made
2
abundantly
things
clear.
at once. Do you want me to drive, or do you want me to go find out who these people are?
Alright, you keep driving. I'll go and find out who the people are.
2 of them have just left the lab. There seems to be one sat in the bridge. Literally in the driver's seat.
In the driver's seat? What? That's my seat.
Yeah, you don't drive though.
No, but I like to sit there all the same. I'll head towards the bridge.
Okay. You can head towards the bridge. Vega, you're sat with this, you see the sun, and it is being steered away from you. You can see that you're being steered away from it. And you hear the as one of the doors open at the back onto the bridge. And you see Blister walk in. He looks a bit different from when you were last in the hotel. He looks a lot more plain, just sort of in a plain t-shirt, leather jacket, backwards cap. There's no tie-dye, there's no over-the-top colorful things. There's no Wizmos with him.
Blister, you made it. All right. Is everybody else here?
Hang on a second, pal. How'd you know my name?
Come on, stop screwing around. You saw what just happened. Let's see who else is here. And I just start walking towards the door.
I'll like step in front. Hang on a second, pal. I haven't got a clue who you are. Like, this is my ship. What are you doing here?
You're being serious right now, aren't you?
Aye.
Well, we have other friends. Telemachus, Andy, Alara. We were all just somewhere that we're not anymore. And I suggest, if you don't mind, on your ship, until you figure out what's going on, can I please see if the rest of them are here? And this is Cacklebox.
And for the first time ever, Blister, you see a Wizmo. This strange little creature, sort of built up, almost that looks like of other robots. There's a bit of red, there's a bit of yellow in there. There's like a clamp and a spanner, and it sort of like squeezes the clamp and the spanner at you quite excitedly at seeing you. It stays on Vega's shoulder, but it whirs and beeps, and you see the lights of the eyes flash.
Do you recognize Cacklebox?
No, not at all. It's not dangerous, is it?
It's not. Cackle, do you recognize Blister? Yay or nay?
And you see that thumb come out the front.
Well, again, do you mind if we see if the rest of the people are here safely, and then we can play who's who afterwards?
All right.
Thank you. Argo,
and you see this screen come down. It's like, who are you?
Sons of piss. Who else is on the ship and what's their location? Argo, please. I'm Vega. Wait a minute. And I start running for the docking bay where my ship would be.
You start
Clearly my
running.
priority is great.
You start running. There's no docking bay. There was never one built.
I literally take my hat, slam it on the ground. I search myself for that lifter chip. Do I have that lifter chip on me at least?
That was on you. That is all there.
Well, Cackle, at least you come out ahead. We're gonna inject this thing on you so you can fly, buddy. But let's figure out what's going on first.
Everything all right? What are you doing down by the garbage disposal?
Apparently nothing.
All right. Well,
can we try to see if the other people here? Forgive me. I
no.
Sidetracked.
Argo
Messed up priorities.
Argo won't do two things at once. We'll have to go and have a look.
Otherwise, my processor overloads.
Sure. The lab. Where's the I started making my way for where I know where the lab would be. I know Andy would be at the lab.
Yeah, and Andy, you're like outside the lab with Telemachus as they're both like, you can feel yourself like sweating because of how hot it was. And you can hear Vega somewhere sort of not yelling but annoyed that apparently there's no docking port. There's nothing there. But you can hear him.
Vega! We're over here. Do you have eye protection?
No.
It's alright, I got some! But you hear Telemachus yelling from one end as well.
We're coming to you! As the ship's medic, I require that everyone have on the personal protective equipment necessary!
Okay. I did, when we left the hotel room, I did have my case that has all my belongings in it. Remember when I left the ship when the things happened? I assume I still have my helmet and what was in the case.
Yep, you have your helmet and everything like that. And you come round the corner and Telemachus and Andy sort of like can stand up and walk towards you. You can see them coming towards you. They both have these massive sunglasses on, like go halfway up the forehead and especially down here because we have a gnome and a child. So they sort of go below the nose and they're huge. They're just like all the way around. And Telemachus is walking towards you with the pair in her dungarees and this leather jacket. And she's like, oh, thank gosh, you're both okay. Blister, how come you've already got sunglasses?
Sorry? Alright, so this chap knows me and now you know me as well. Who on earth are you people?
Of course we all know you, Blister.
What are you talking about?
Never seen any of you before.
And Telemachus looks a little bit like sad. Sort of like her face drops and she sort of puts her hands together and starts looking like wringing them. It's like, well, you don't remember me at all.
Never seen you before in my life.
What about the ship? What about like Greenway and you know the Scratticus stuff and like how and then I went to no.
Look, if you hear about the accident, all I know is it wasn't my fault.
But maybe he bumped his head, and I like go over and I start like poking and prodding him. I do like that thing where I like appear over one shoulder and then appear over the other shoulder, and then I start like, and I start pulling like tools out of my belt,
Look
and
at his
I'm
clothes,
like,
guys. Look at his clothes. Look at what he's
What?
wearing. Look at his appearance.
yeah,
We're still dressed the same. He's not.
Are you not my Blister?
oh.
Great,
A
I
different
can't.
Blister?
Can I make an intel check to see if I know what's going on, or
Yeah, roll me
actually I
an
probably
insight.
wouldn't remember if I experienced this stuff, huh?
Yeah. Roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Also, Andy, due to the donation on the roll list, as you're like holding your hands out and looking at Blister, you notice something about you has changed. You reach out with both your hands, and as you're checking Blister over to see what's going on, one of your hands is completely normal. Your other, you sort of stop and pause. As your hand is no longer there, instead there is a Vect hand in place. This robotic sort of you can see all of like the joints, all of the limbs, everything. It's like you've lost your hand and it's been replaced with this mechanical one. You can see all of these like buttons and words. You can even see a screen on the back that looks to be reading life signs as you do it and pass it over, but your hand is gone and a mechanical one is in its place.
I jump back horrified and I'm like, oh no, I'm not me either!
Thank you very much as well. Paladin Hulk, who comes in with that subscription, you get to give an advantage to a player or DM of your choice. And also, thank you very much, Isriver, who comes in and says, when you know how to spell Telemachus, so you can gift them stuff to be mean. And Telemachus needs to roll on a table, please, Alice.
Yeah, we rolled a 100. 94. And Vega, on that nat 20 on Insight, you're looking at Blister. As the others are talking to them, you can see Andy checking them over, then realizing her hand has changed. And you look at Blister and your memory goes back to how you had effectively jumped through time to get to the spaceport. And you can read things on your the wrist that brings up some information, that small screen. This is a completely different timeline. This is a different year. And what you can assume from this is that this Blister, for some reason or another, never encountered Alara, Telemachus, any of you at all. This is on a timeline before anything has happened, and for some reason it has altered. And he's been traveling on his own for a very long time.
Blister, how long have you been here?
Well, good question, really. It's got to be 6 Earth years since the accident, and before that we were probably traveling through space for 6 months to a year or something like that. So it's been about 7 years since I've seen Earth.
I have to see the outside of the ship, but wait, where's Alara?
Who?
We remember her, right, Alice?
Yeah, no, you remember her, but it's almost like it's like a foggy, distant memory. Like it's one of when you sort of go, is that real? Did I dream that up? It's almost like was it a real thing?
Well, Telemachus and Andy, I think we've gone back prior to any interactions you may have ever had with Blister.
But when I met Blister, he'd been traveling in space for only 4 years, so that means he missed me altogether.
Then things aren't lining up then, I'm afraid, Telemachus. But we're here now, right? We're all here now. Blister, I know this is hard to explain. You must have experienced time jumps in this thing. Gosh, you must be thirsty too. You've been here for 6 years. There must be no beer left.
Yeah, no, we're completely out of beer. I tried brewing some on my own, but it just never came out right.
So Blister, I said that, because I wanted you to recognize that that was something I would know about you just for the short time I've known you. So you just trust me when I say we've crossed paths before. The only other thing I might have for proof is we were at this giant station, and you guys had met me somewhere. I was the new kid on the block, no pun intended, and we were trying to figure out some information of why I had been on Argo before then, because I don't remember a lot of things either. Long story short, I downloaded a bunch of information about my stay at that station, but also Argo's files, and I've yet to play them for the group yet. In fact, last we talked, we were about to play them, and then we all shifted. Would it be too much if we played it now?
No, it might help me understand who you all are as well, what you're doing here.
So
Any objections, Andy or Telemachus?
Telemachus is just like shrugging, doesn't look too happy about the whole situation.
Oh, I'm gonna go put my arm around Telemachus.
Yeah, she just like lets you, and it's like that pat, and she's just nodding slowly. And as she does, she sort of feels something in her pocket. Thank you to Isriver for this donation. As she reaches in and pulls out this perfectly smooth stone. And she looks at it and is like, what is that? Like, and pats the rest of her pocket. So she holds it, and it almost fits perfectly in the palm of her hand, just so that like her fingers can grip around the top. And there is something written on the top of it in a language that isn't English. It's almost like a different type of, maybe an alien language, and it glows green. As she looks at it, she pulls out her scanners and starts to analyze it.
I was headed towards her to also comfort her, but then this happened, and now I'm looking at that.
Would you like to do like an investigation check? Or
Yeah,
anything
sure.
Like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, I was trying to see. Is it by any chance from the dark matter materials? I have something called retro technology that gives me
Yeah. Roll that.
twice my proficiency on intelligence checks involving technology.
Nice. Yes.
Okay, so sorry, it's an investigation?
Yeah, investigation, or I'll allow perception as well.
I'll do investigation if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it would be +2, so 16.
16.
I don't know how to double my thing on there. So
Me neither. So on a 16, you're looking at this as Telemachus is running scans over it, and it seems to be giving off a high energy. And it's not really identifiable as to what it is giving off, but you recognize that along the top, this writing, it's Elven.
Oh. Okay, well, be careful, because it's emitting a strange energy, but also that writing is Elven? Can you read Elven?
Why is there a weird space rock in my pocket?
I don't know. I also don't know why Blister doesn't know us, and I also don't know why I have this. And she holds up her new robo hand.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my gosh, and like sort of reaches out and grabs your hand and starts looking at it.
Is that the hand by any chance that I grabbed when we faded away?
Yeah. By the wrist, and it's gone.
Andy, do you remember us reaching for each other and almost falling through space together and be the last ones to fade from each other's sight?
Yeah? Are you?
I remember milkshake.
That's right, you had a milkshake. Wait, where are the other Wismos?
And Telemachus just looks up, and you can hear something rattling above, and Argo, that screen drops down. It's like, I'm afraid the infestation in the air ducts has made their way to the supply room.
Oh no, not the supplies.
Blister, you could just talk to them.
Let's make our way there, and then we'll play this download of Argo's information, and maybe Blister can trigger something, or it might all just be news to you. I don't know. But should we go to the supply room?
Sure. I don't even know what's in the supply room, but it sounds like it's important.
I know it's not there. An awesome spaceship.
Hang on a minute. Wait. No, hang on a minute. This could be great. Does that mean a spaceship? Does that mean you're a pilot?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, Blister.
Can you steer us away from this sun? We've been orbiting it for like days.
I've already locked coordinates to move away before I got out of the chair.
Oh.
And Argo's like, well, fine.
I mean, Argo, so why
May as well
couldn't
not
you
even
help us?
be here.
We wanted you to help us, and you were like, no, I need to fly the ship. What are you doing?
I was flying the ship.
Argo, thank you for your help. Can you continue on the path away from the sun while we try to go and find the rest? Argo, you don't recognize any of us either. There's nothing in your logs of any of us ever being on this ship.
And he blinks twice. I'd have to check all my files.
Okay, when we're safely away, would you mind checking, please?
Fine. And the screen just starts disappearing up into the ceiling.
So were we dropped here too? Are we different now too? I don't understand.
Well, we all remember our last interaction in the
Yeah.
hotel at the space station. Minus V, I think. I have a name written down, and Blister doesn't seem to remember any of us, but K-Box remembers Blister. And maybe the other Wizmos might give a clue too. Why are we still standing here? We know what kind of terror they can get into. If it's a new room to them, if it's a new experience for them, it's going to be a messy new experience.
Yes. Okay, let's go. But also, Blister, if you haven't had a physical in like 7 years, I'm gonna have to expect you're gonna have to come to my room, and we can do that later. It's okay.
That sounds very forward,
Are
but
you-
I should
like,
be alright,
poke-
you know.
After I figure this out,
Look, the
Can't
ship,
imagine what kind of good shape your liver's in.
it's
I mean,
probably
if
got a
he
lot
ran
better
out
in
of
the
beer,
last couple of years.
I start
drunk
walking
some-
to the supplier.
Yeah, you
Drunk
can
some
do this
questionable things.
as you're walking.
yeah, as we were walking, it's definitely like, I mean, actually, if he's been out of beer, his liver might be in better shape than our Blister.
Yeah, well, you know, I've done my best. I tell you what, though, the ship showers, they broke like 2 years ago.
Oh, that explains the smell.
This thing keeps me quite clean, though, and he like parts his jacket to reveal this green amulet that's embedded in his chest. Sort of like, think
That-
Iron Man style, like.
That's new. I'm like, that's.
Telemachus moves forward. It's like,
Oh my gosh, that's the amulet. That's the one you used. It. Our Blister threw it away.
Oh, nah, it's kept me company. It like speaks to me and stuff. Can you speak to them, or do you speak to me?
and Blister, you just hear a voice in your head that just says, "Not now, friend."
Oh, psychological and physical evaluation, maybe.
It says it can't talk to you right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it did. That's fine. He's been alone a long time.
Without beer.
Without
Telemachus
beer.
is like rubbing her face, like, "What is happening?" Like, as you walk towards the supply room, you can see the door, and you can hear something going on inside. And from underneath the door, there's some sort of like see-through liquid that seems to be seeping underneath it. And it smells a lot like bleach.
Ah,
I'm gonna open the door.
Yep, Easily, you open the door, you hit the button, and it opens, and you see all of these these big metal crates that have been thrown open. There is bleach being poured everywhere. You can see one Wizmo attacking another with one of the mops. Some of them are on the ceiling, literally just unrolling all of these paper towels. You can see what looks to be a few bottles of beer that they're just emptying over onto some of the containers. It looks to be like there were a few bottles left in here. You can see just chaos, basically. There's lots and lots of things that are being thrown, broken. It's happening.
Hey, knock it off. Line up right now, all of you, line up.
They all sort of pause and freeze where they are. One has the mop. The other one has acquired a net from somewhere, you're not too sure. There seems to be two in a space helmet, sort of looking at you as this happens, and that bleach just runs between all of your feet.
What's that smell? I never smelled anything like it. It smells so chemically.
That's typically a cleaning product, and on its own, it's okay, as long as it's not... Yeah, it makes sense you wouldn't understand. I try and hold up my new robo hand, and I'm like, please analyze if this has been mixed with anything bad. Because there's a lot of things you can mix with bleach that could go real bad.
Yep, but no, you can see that there are products in here that could be mixed with bleach that could cause some problems, but this one looks like they've decided just to empty a bottle onto the floor. And all of these Wizmos stop and stare, and they watch Vega for a moment, and then all of these glowing eyes shift to look at Blister. And there's this screech, almost like this electronical screech and beep and whir, as Blister, these 24 little Wizmo creatures start charging towards you and climbing up you.
Blister, they were friends with you. Blister, they were fond of you. They were fond of you, Blister. Perhaps if you talk to them, they'll listen. Just tell them to calm down and just relax for a little bit, not make a mess, to behave. If you tell them, they'll listen. If I yell at them, they'll listen, but then they'll be mad at me. So just tell them nicely, and that they'll do what you say. Just trust me on this, or we're going to be cleaning this room for the next 3 days.
All right. What do I tell them to do?
Just tell them to relax, behave, go stand by a port and watch outer space or something for a little bit.
One of them is pulling on your cap, like they're trying to get it off you.
Right, Wizmos, stop that. Go and look out a window.
One of them has got their arms around your chin and is just rubbing its face up against your cheek.
Maybe be happy to see them too.
Stroking your ear.
Yeah, no, I'm real pleased to see you all. This is great. Maybe later we can all play some parlor games or something, but right now we need to do something else. Go!
And there's the moment where they all stand or wheel, half of them are wheeled up, halfway looking at you, holding on to part of your leather jacket on the zip. One of them is swinging from it, and they tear off down the corridor towards, the biggest window in the ship, which is on the bridge.
Cackle, go keep an eye on them, make sure you don't touch anything, please.
And there's a little salute, and that hover takes that hover thing out, and you see it disappear down the corridor after him.
He can hover now.
Yeah, okay.
So, perhaps the history of my past isn't so important all of a sudden. How about the history of Argo 37?
All right, that's
being a spaceport anyway.
That's easy. That's really easy. We were planned to go from A to B on some kind of mission or something. I signed up as crew. There was an accident, had absolutely nothing to do with me. And then the ship's been cruising sort of dead without really any direction for 6 years.
Who was the captain of the ship?
Good question. Stiff upper lip jobby. Goes by the name of do I remember the name of the captain? Ship's captain?
You might. The thing, if you do, you probably wouldn't have known it personally because you literally just called him captain because this used to have quite a lot of ship members on it, so it was more assigned to you by title. If anything, it was Captain Perkins.
Captain Perkins. I tell you what, I can do. I can take you down to the. I can take you down to the cryo chambers. They're all in there. None of them's ever woken up.
There's still a room with cryo chambers in it.
Yeah.
And you didn't fill it with beer.
Well, I did fill it with beer, but you know, it ran out after a while.
Okay, let's do that. You coming, Telemachus?
It's like, yeah, no, I'm coming.
And she's like watching everything Blister does. Like,
I'm gonna be sure to try to look
following
at her and just keep her and make sure she's included in everything that's going on and make her feel as comfortable. I can tell she's a little broken, that Blister's recognized her.
Yeah, like she's watching him. You can tell she's just watching his every move, analyzing things, and now she's got this rock that she doesn't seem to understand fully what it is. And you can walk down to the cryo chambers, and there's about 200 cryo chambers in here. And in most of them, there is the crew of Argo frozen.
I'm looking for 3 specific ones. Myself, Andy, Blister, and if I can recall, I guess I'd be looking for V also, but if I don't really recall who she is, then I wouldn't be.
There is no Alara, there is no Vega, but there is an empty chamber that has Andy's title on it.
Andy.
The heck? What? So wait, am I from this one? Why do I have memories of the other one then? Oh, I don't like this. But
Well,
why?
Andy, you joined this group way before I did. So there's still some sort of presence of you being on here before.
Mm-hmm. But then
Blister joined, but you're a little different. Blister joined a long time ago. The whole ship is different with him, and he doesn't remember any of us. And I was the most recent person to join, and anything that I brought with me that I didn't leave with is gone as well, but I remember all of you. So, I don't know what says. I figured I'd just point that out.
yeah, no, this is all just really weird. I don't know. I guess we should ask Argo about the logs? At this point, I guess we're just assuming that this is a whole different version.
Oh, wait, I have the logs for the last... From Earth 1969 to 7,500 years in the future of anything that might have happened at that space station. Should we look those up?
Earth
Remember the log-
1969, 17,000 years in the future. What are you, eh?
7,500, but I have that information. Remember, well, Blister, you won't remember, but Blister caused a distraction and I hacked all the information. Oh, Andy, you weren't with us. You were on the ship sleeping. All right, so anyway, talk to Telemachus, I guess. Telemachus, I have that information that I hacked. Should we play that information?
And Telemachus is just like,
I'm very confused right now.
All right, we'll hold off on it then.
I think we should talk about it at some point. Maybe when I can have more bearings as to where I am.
like she's like, you could see her. She sort of looks like opened a panel on the ship and started plugging it into this thing on her wrist, and she's like plugging it in, trying to read just information on Argo's state. And as you are all sort of discussing this, Argo's screen comes down again. So, Blister,
Hey, what's up, Argo?
we're being hailed.
Oh, goodbye.
I don't know, we're just being hailed. I can, there's a phone call coming in, and you can literally hear like an old school Nokia ringtone.
Alright, answer it.
And
If there's a video screen, I'm going to move to the side so I'm not in view of the video screen.
as you do, this video screen comes down. First of all, you see almost a projection that Argo is seeing. So you see that huge sun, and you see a massive ship. And it's very rectangular in shape. It's much longer than Argo. It's not necessarily as tall, but it's very, very long. And you can see almost like the sun itself, these huge strips along it of this glowing orange panels, which almost move like magma. You can see parts of the ship are sort of a very dark green and dark blue. It looks very well kept. And it's quite clunky, but everything is perfect squares and rectangles. And soon after that, you hear that ring again, and it pops up on screen. A face, a huge bearded face, almost like quite a very square jaw, a very short stance of the big, bushy, like white and grey, like salt and pepper eyebrows, a huge beard that sort of drops down below the chest of this uniform. And it looks quite well kept. And there's this mass of hair that's been pulled back almost into a ponytail, but slicked back. And this man sits in the chair, this dwarf. You can see the wrinkles and sort of what look like smile lines around his face and around his eyes. He's like, "Hail, friends! What brings you so close to the dying sun? You don't look like miners."
Well, we've got one miner on board now. But we're just drifting, really. We kind of got caught in the gravitational pull. Fortunately, we found a route out. Can I help you?
We wondered if you were stuck. We've been watching you orbit for a day or so now. We came here to make sure your engines hadn't failed.
No, they're all right. I just didn't know how to use them, really.
And this sort of smiling face sort of squints a little bit. It's like, "Why are you so far out here? Only mining ships come this far and this distance from the sun."
I'm Torin.
Interesting.
You know, miners need entertainment, right? I'm part of a band. Band of one, as it happens.
What is your name, friend?
Blister.
I am Rumans of Jomans.
Romans of Jomand.
Correct. We are miners. The ship. We are mining the precious stone, the precious metal in this dying sun.
Oh, right. I thought suns were made of gas.
Not this one, friend.
What's
It is a fragile surface.
Look, I've been drifting for years, months even. We've got, like, supplies and stuff, but, we're pretty low. If you'd be willing to do some kind of trade.
Of course. And they sort of let us come closer and join with your ship. You are very welcome on board. And you can hear him see him sort of wave. Carrick, go. Make the arrangements. And you can see sort of in the background this other dwarf sort of stomps off towards it. Would you prefer shuttle or direct connection?
I mean, I usually just, like, float across. I guess, shuttle might be nice, I guess.
Blister, do a shuttle so I can go over there and see this ship from the outside.
Alright, yeah, a shuttle, that'd be great.
I will send it along to you shortly. And there's a pause. Welcome, Blister of ship Argo. We will see you very soon. And the screen switches off.
Well, that all seems very ominous, doesn't it? Very somber people for like just kids.
Blister, what's the name of this
don't.
Blister, what's the name of this ship that you're
This-
on right now?
Argo 37.
Okay, he said Argo, so I was wondering if he didn't recognize that 37 was on the outside. He just referred to it as Argo.
Oh, maybe he just thought 37 was like, I don't know, a number or something. You know, like one of them barcode things.
Right, you know what it is, so that's all that's really important.
I don't know why it's called 37. I've never seen like 36 or 35 or... I don't know, 3.
Yeah, funny how that is. Everything's 37. Well, for me anyway.
And
Lucky number?
Argo reaches out and says, there seems to be a shuttle approaching. I'm opening the docks. You can head down to level 3 and it will be there.
Do we need to get suited up or anything like that?
They seem to have come with provisions for you to just step on board.
Nice.
So are we headed over there?
Yeah, let's go and do some trade. We're a little bit... I mean, I've got some water. We've been reconstructing it out of the fuel. You know, water would be a good supply. If they've got any beer, I wouldn't say no. Maybe some food as well. I've been eating granola for the last 6 months. And that was only once all the sausages ran out.
Hey, Argo. Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
Yes.
No, Andy, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. So do we want to all go over there and they all seem okay? Do we know? Please?
I don't know about you, but it took a long time to meet friends, and I'm tired of people disappearing. So I'd rather stick together if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what we thought. It's all. I don't know. It's fine.
While I'm saying that, I'm gonna type in for K-Box to come and find me. Come to my location.
Yeah, no, he comes straight to your location. You see him as you're all approaching the shuttle. You see him coming in the opposite direction.
And I'm gonna open my bag that has everything in it.
Yeah,
so
he just goes straight
in.
in. There's no difference. He just goes straight in. And you can see this shuttle attached to one of the escape pod things, and it opens. And you see this dwarf stood there. Not the one you spoke to, another one with very dark beard, sort of in a long plait, slicked back dark hair. And he too has a smile on his face. He's in a uniform, a sort of a maroon color. And he's like, welcome, friends. Please, step on. And it looks to be literally a simple shuttle with seats and windows either side.
Hey,
Almost
Argo,
attached to a cord. Yes?
could you search those back files now for what I asked for earlier, please?
No problemo. And
Do you know of anything that this ship or you yourself may require that you might try to find across for you? Anything you've been hoping to upgrade, look for, or anything of the such?
he pauses. There's a lot that needs upgrading on this ship.
Give me the top 3 priorities.
Well, the vending machines are out of stock.
Oh, okay, we'll go ahead and just put that as a tentative number 3. How about 1 and 2?
And there's a pause, and you can actually hear like a
You know, gas, weapons, shields, mechanicals, responses.
Shields would be good.
AI.
Medical supplies.
Medical.
We haven't had shields in quite a while.
How's the medical bay looking? How's the stock? I can't imagine you and Blister needed the medical for anything, unless it was
I
edible
mean,
or
to
drink.
be fair, he's not used anything.
I could take inventory later. It's okay.
We could use some more rubbing alcohol. It's been used.
Interesting.
Don't read into that too much.
I don't think we're asked good.
And there's another pause where he looks like he's gonna say something. He goes, "No, it's probably best that doesn't happen, considering beforehand. We no longer have a self-destruct weapon."
I feel like that one's okay.
There was
Yeah,
a
we'll put
time
that
I rewired it wrong, and someone pressed to get a Mars bar out the vending machine, and it set it off. It was not a good time.
Yeah, I'll put that as a tentative number 9. Okay. All right. Please access those logs for me, and I'll do my best to. We'll go over next door and try to make out what's going on.
Do you
guys are
require? Go ahead.
much more organized than I am. I just usually ask for, like, I don't know, food.
I got you that granola. A lifetime supply of food you asked for.
In typical Vega fashion, I shake my head and walk onto the shuttle. all done with this conversation.
Telemachus walks over to Blister and sort of half holds her hand out for him to hold it, and then sort of realizes, he's like,
I'm picking on my hand if you want.
holding it out. And you
Sure,
notice
alright.
she's wearing a little leather jacket and a backwards cap. Very
Hey.
similar to what you're wearing.
Your outfits look pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she sort of takes it and leads you onto the shuttle. And Andy, are you getting on straight away as well, or?
I like look at my new hand and I wave my new hand and stuff and see if it like tells me anything, and then I guess I shake my head and go.
It picks up how many life forms are on this shuttle and their status.
Okay.
They are
All right.
alive.
Oh, good. That's better than sometimes. All right. Okay. I feel better. Let's go.
And as you step on, you hear the as the door closes, and you all sit down on these seats, and they're very comfy. They look literally to be padded for comfort. This is not for long journeys. You think this is probably for inter-ship relations, as it heads over towards the ship. And as this shuttle goes across, this dwarf sort of driving it with literally 3 levers as it is attached to this cable. And you realize how big this dwarven mining vessel is. And soon you approach and you see these huge doors open, sort of in a circle, like they sort of open almost like a shutter. And this shuttle goes straight in, the doors closing behind, and you feel this sort of almost like a hover as this soft landing of this shuttle lands. And the dwarf walks forward, opens the door. Please, friends, follow me.
Scan.
Yeah,
Is
he's
there
alive.
a bay window? Is there a bay window right there before he says follow me? Is there something where I can see Argo from where I'm at?
Yeah, you can see Argo.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do a mental visual of Argo and see how much it's changed from.
It
when I
seems
first-
to be pretty much intact. Maybe it looks a little less worn. However, you can see a massive dent in the side of it where it looks like something's hit it, like an asteroid or something.
But the markings are the same. Argo,
Everything is identical.
and it still has the portion of the ship that I would recognize as the docking bay.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be a docking bay.
I follow.
And this dwarf leads you through these many corridors, and you see lots of levels of the ship. You see a lot of dwarfs walking around. In fact, it seems to be only dwarfs on this ship. You see male and female. They are all wearing a uniform. They smile, they greet you. You can see before you leave the hangar these huge big ships that look to be just one big drill. And you can see some of them in heavy duty wear. Some people, some of these dwarves walking along the corridors. You can get a view of the sun through these windows. You don't feel the heat though. You feel the ship has been built purposefully for situations like this, and you see some of them walking in these big heavy-duty suits, almost like the old divers suits where it's like a mixture of metal and cloth, and with all of these different tubes coming off of them, and with all of these different like bits of equipment, like drilling equipment attached to like their belts and their back, and they all stand around 3 foot tall and sort of 3 foot, maybe a bit bigger. And you go through elevators. It has awful elevator music, but it still has it as it goes up and down. And you feel like also this elevator is going across. It's not just going up and down, it's going across. And you walk past a lot of different rooms. You can see some labs, you can see there are different panels and things like that everywhere. And Lister, in fact, not everyone, could you roll me a perception check, please? Okay. So, Andy and Vega, you see this first as you walk past. You see one of the labs, and Andy, you recognize it straight away. There seems to be this huge big glass tube, and there is a green glowing rock at the center, very, very small, sort of fish shaped, and it looks very similar to the stone that Blister showed you embedded in his chest earlier. And there seems to be some of these like scientists around it, and they're poking it, they're prodding it. They've got like in this tube, they've got these like these things being fed into it and taking readings off of it.
I look at Blister and then I look over at the rock area. And am I able to like go? Is there someone on sort of like the extent of the room where I don't have to like go in too much and be like too nosy, but I can kind of like hey there, what you doing?
No, you can like the doors are open. It doesn't seem to be like
okay. I don't want to just like I don't want to just crash someone else's lab. I don't wanna...
You can like poke your head in and you suddenly feel like a Telemachus sort of leaning in at the same time with you as she's looking.
Yeah.
And one of the you see one of these dwarves in a lab coat turn and look round. He's like, welcome, come in if you're interested. Just keep your distance from the stone itself.
Oh yes, hello. What's that you have there?
It is what we're looking for. We're not too sure exactly of the stone itself, but it's apparently at the center of that sun somewhere. And we want to get it before the sun dies.
Yes, I could see how that might be an issue. Would you mind if I just do a quick scan? And I look at my new hand a little bit unsure, and then I hold it up.
Okay, can you do an investigation check?
Oh, poop.
Yeah, you look at this and it doesn't, you don't get really much of a reading off of it other than that there is a lot of energy swirling around and within this stone. It seems to be projecting a lot, and you can actually see almost like a green static like moving around the outside of it.
Yeah, I feel like I go to try and figure out how to make it go to scanner mode, and instead like my finger opens up and there's a flashlight or something like that. I'm just like, what?
This is like a Swiss Army hand. Like this can have a spoon at one end or something. Like
oh gosh, I'm so
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm still figuring this out. I'll get it eventually. Sorry about that. So so what does it do?
It has an extraordinary amount of power, and well, I think our captain will be better at probably explaining while we're here for you.
Oh, okay.
And there's a smile as they turn back to their work, and the dwarf that guided you in is like, please, the captain is this way. I believe you spoke to him on the monitor. And
Yes, thank you.
there are these huge big double doors which open, and the bridge you can see, and there seems to be about 12 to 14 dwarfs all doing something, taking readings. You can see lots of screens up, monitoring. You can see the signals of the sun, you can see different diagrams, you can see the ins and outs of everything and the different readings coming off of this rock they're trying to find. And you recognize Rumand as he stands up and he's like, friends, welcome aboard the Starcraft. We are very happy to have you. Yes, friend.
Oh no, I was hailing you as the DM.
No. Yes, friend.
I'm gonna kind of walk and step behind like Lister, so he takes lead, and I'm gonna hack the ship's log. I'm just trying to verify that this is a mining ship. The guy keeps calling us friends, and it makes me a little nervous. So I'm just gonna try to hack it.
Okay, roll me a investigation, please.
I have a advantage still.
Yes, I think
All right,
so.
so I'll use it.
Yeah.
I'll use it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's investigation or sleight of hand to hack that.
I'll say either. You can use either.
I thought it was slight. Okay.
There you go.
I can't see what I rolled. Was it good?
You got a 23 or a 24, so yeah.
Okay, either one.
You can you hack into the system, and as you read through it, it is certainly a mining ship. You can't see any form of like real weaponry on the ship. It doesn't look like it's built for fighting. It literally looks to be for transport. And if anything, it looks to be a very scientific ship. It seems to be here for research. You can see on there is a small symbol. It's almost like an A and sort of like an axe, and underneath it says Adamantium Fleet. Underneath it. But otherwise, this does seem to be a mining ship.
Does the A on that symbol look anything like astrogation Inc.'s symbol?
No, it doesn't look anything like it.
And does the number 37 come up at all in anything I see? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. I keep all that to myself. Okay. Okay.
And Roman looks to you, Blister, as Vegas step behind you, and Andy stands by your side. Telemachus is still sort of like gripping onto your hand again. Friend, what is it you seek?
Mostly supplies, you know what I mean? I've been drifting through space for quite a while. This tour has been longer than I expected. I've been eating granola for like months now. So like actual food would be fantastic.
And he pauses and looks to one of his companions and back at you. I don't know what this granola is, friend, but we can certainly give you something different. We have many dried meats and fresh vegetables from our labs.
Yes,
I
like
don't
that.
know how you feel about ale. I'm afraid we have no wine.
I love ale. So I want all of this stuff. I mean, usually it ends up being like a bob a job sort of thing, you know, like, do you need anything that needs doing, or maybe I could sing y'all a little song?
And you notice he's really looking you up and down, Blister. And he sort of said, why does your shirt glow like that?
Weird thing, it just attached itself to me some time ago. Really useful.
I tried interrupted cover. I tried because I saw what was just happening in the lab. And so before Blister, were you trying to open your shirt to show it?
It always sits on top of the top level of my clothing, so the only way I can
God
cover
damn
it
it,
is
okay.
sometimes with my
I'm
jacket.
also gonna yell to the first person. Can we get a strawberry milkshake for Telemachus? As a distraction also.
And her eyes widen a little bit, and you can see this one dwarf walk over and hold his hand out to her. It's like, of course we can, come with me. And sort of he holds his hand out, and Telemachus is like, okay,
Yeah, so Andy physically dove for Blister to try and like stop the showing of the crystal.
If you both roll a sleight of hand to see how quickly you get there, to see if you can stop it from being
Oh
shown.
god.
Well, while they do that, I'm going to open the bag and tell Cacklebox to go with Telemachus and stay next to Telemachus and radio me if there's any issues.
Yeah, Cacklebox just heads straight out. Oh.
Andy is not dexterous. We knew this.
And Andy, as you do this, you sort of like, you wave your hand in front of this sort of like this amulet embedded into Blister. And as you do, as Blister shows it, you see quite a few of the dwarfs take a step back. Some of them whisper amongst themselves. The captain looks a little taken aback, more confused. Doesn't look angry, doesn't look happy, just confused. How did you come by that, friend?
I was just out on a planet one time, and there it was, so I picked it up, and it started, like, talking to me, and then it attached itself to my chest, and then I can do all this cool stuff, look, and Blister will just, like, levitate off the ground a little bit, surrounded in green light. Like, it lets me fly and stuff.
It's real. And they sort of look to each other like, it's real, it's been found. I don't... You say you... Did it find you, or did you find it?
Probably a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, you know what I mean? I was looking for supplies, it was lost on a planet, you know, like 2 ships sailing in the ocean that just happened to knock into one another, I guess.
May I have a closer look, or may one of my scientists have a closer look? This is extraordinary.
I guess,
And one of these scientists come over, and he sort of looks to you briefly. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm Marin, and he sort of starts to have a look and runs his own tests. You see this little screen come up, and he starts scanning you. And the captain looks very intrigued as he sits there, sort of a hand on his beard as he sort of runs his fingers through the hair. This scientist takes a step back, nods to his captain. Please, will you all join me in my quarters for some food and drink? I would like to know more of your travels and this.
Yeah.
Please.
There's not really much to tell, to be honest, but I'll definitely come and eat your food.
Follow me. And this dwarf starts to move. And he walks through a few sets of doors. You end up in another elevator and go up. But in the end, you hear that shh again as he opens this door. And this seems to be his quarters. And there is a huge window in here with a view of the sun. And you can see like pictures on the walls that seem to be maybe his family or something like that. You can see him shaking hands with important people. You see a huge desk, and you see a very long table, which you can assume is normally for meetings, but it is laid out with food. And it's got huge, big, like, things of ale ready to be poured at the table, and these fairly comfy. This is almost very regal. This looks like this person likes the finer things. And he presses a button, and as he does, the center of the table opens up and food comes up. Fruit, vegetables, meat, everything. Like, it's just piled up high. And he goes to sit at the head of the table. Sits himself down. Friends, please help yourself. And your young friend, the little one, she has been sent a message to come up here soon also. Please help yourself. I will pour you all a drink, of course. And he starts pouring these huge glasses that fill up with this very sort of frothy amber like ale, and passes them around. And Andy, this is a lot bigger than you. This glass is massive to your hands. Like, this is huge. And He sits down and the door closes. I did not realize I was in the presence of the nomad. This is just gonna give like Todd so many issues.
My name's Blister, actually.
Yes, but you are the nomad. You come bearing the power in you.
Power's with you.
What he said. Do you not know that you're the nomad?
I look at Andy, panicked.
Is this like a legend?
It is the rock, the jewel, whatever it is at the center of your chest. It is what we search for.
Oh,
It is what we are mining for. It is a rare stone. I didn't realize that the amulet of it was a real thing, or survived, or it was. And he's sort of suddenly realizing you don't know what it is. He's like, originally it was created and it was owned by an ancient star elf whose name we no longer know. It was lost over centuries ago. It's the nomad is trapped within the pendant, and whoever has it becomes the nomad, like the traveler.
Well, I've not really been able to figure out a way to take it off.
You don't take it off. There is a way. The only way to take it off is to destroy it.
Yeah, no,
Can I
I
make
didn't.
an insight check with him?
Sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry, beg your pardon. Can I make an insight check on the dwarf talking to see if he's giving
Yeah.
us a line? $17.
17. As you sort of look into this dwarf's eyes, he looks genuine. He looks like he's in awe of whatever it is. Whether it's true or not, he believes it. He believes that this is the nomad.
Does the stone look like anything Telemachus pulled out of her pocket a little while ago?
It has the same green shimmer, but that's about it. The rock itself was like a smooth black rock. It wasn't anything else, but the glow from the words was definitely there. And whilst you're looking at this dwarf, Andy, can you make a perception check for me, please? Okay, on a 17, you sort of, as you look over the table and over your beer, you can see as Blister is talking, there's almost like a static of green light running around his eyes.
Blister's eyes?
Mm-hmm.
And was it there before?
You're not too sure. You think maybe at the corner of your eye you've seen that slight green glow before, but not really. Not prominent enough. It's not something that you would look at and see straight away.
Okay. At his mention of ancient Elvish, Andy, like Vega, is thinking of Telemachus's new little object. Since she analyzed and found it was ancient Elvish, so she's keeping an eye out for when Telemachus comes in. But also, the lab I walked into, weren't they analyzing a big piece of stone, or was that just like a hologram or something like that?
It seemed to be a very small piece of stone.
Okay.
Of it, and it doesn't seem to be as pure as the one that Blister is wearing. It's almost like it's got other bits of rock in it. It hasn't been purified or anything yet.
Okay. So you're like you had some of this already, right, Captain? In your lab, I saw them looking at it.
This is correct. We are looking for it. We need a much larger, purer source. Sadly, there are many impurities in this one, but we have been told in this sun that we can find it. We are We are not. We are assigned with the Adamantian fleet. We are on a mission for them to find this material, this raw power. And it is a mineral, and we need it to aid us in the war against the Elven Forest fleet.
What do you got war for?
It's a war that has been raging on for a very long time. It's what war is always about. People want things, people do bad things. We try to stop it.
Can I have some time with my friends here until our little friend shows up, and then so we can kind of gather our thoughts and put together a collective amount of questions we'd like to ask you before we answer any further questions?
Of course. Let me go freshen up. And he sort of stands, gives you almost like a bow, and he opens one of the doors, which you can assume go further into his quarters, and disappears.
Can I try to scan the room and shut down any surveillance or recording devices?
You can tell there are no recording devices in here, straight away from signal.
Okay. So
you can imagine he maybe even brought you to these quarters because he doesn't want to be watched by any of his other.
That's not creepy.
Can I pull up how far K-Box is? Are they making their way back here now?
Yeah, you can see like these two little red dots moving, and they seem to be going up and along and down, and you can see they're getting pretty close.
Well, I scanned their ship's logs when we got on board to see if they were what they said they were. And there's definitely some sort of mining vessel of some sort of pretty big fleet or company of some kind. And there's really no deception that I can tell from his voice and how fascinated he is with that gem. I guess I'm saying this because, we need a lot of help right now. We need a lot of stuff for the ship. You heard Argo. Lister, you clearly need food and beer, amongst vending machines being filled and other important things. If there's a war involved, any information you give them on that gem, we're declaring a side, I think. So if we're going to do that, and you're free to give the information you want, get something for it. Barter the stuff we need for further questioning.
Go on, Andy.
I just think we should be really careful because they seem to really want it, and those people in the lab are really intent on it, and he freaked out when so I'm sorry I don't at you earlier. I was trying to kind of hide it a little bit because I just didn't know. But also, when Telemachus gets here, we should privately look at that object she just got, because it also seems to have similarities with what they're talking about.
Some similarity. That's why I said I didn't want her to walk in and see what we were talking about and go, "Hey, I got this also." That's why I asked until I got here. But I don't really sense we're in any kind of danger. I mean, if they wanted to take it, they'd have a fleet of people up here right now. We're clearly outnumbered and outmatched here. So I think bartering, sharing. I don't know. I mean, it's your rock. I'm just saying, if you're going to share information, let's get something out of it. That's my only input. And remember, they're at war with something else that we might not know what it is. And so by giving them information, we could be aiding one side. And I don't know if that's the steps you want to take.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that we could just avoid war altogether. Perhaps what we could do is just get a bunch of supplies from these people and then marry on our way.
Right, but to barter for supplies, what else do we have to offer other than information? I have a helmet. And I'm not giving up Cacklebox or the Wizmos.
Yeah, maybe they'll want to know exactly the location and coordinates of where you found yours. Maybe we could give that to them if they help us out.
Where were we when we found this thing? Wasn't it in a vault somewhere, Alice? In this timeline, where did I get it from?
In this timeline, you were on a planet and you were just exploring, and it called to you. And it was this planet that seemed to be in complete ruins, desolate. There was no other life. You landed purely to see if you could get supplies and beer, but It was very much like a city, like walking around an empty city, and it called to you.
Right. I'll give them some information about where I found it, and hopefully they can find their own. And then we'll get as much supplies out of them for the information as we can. I'll get the supplies agreed on before I give them any information. And if we have to, if things turn ugly, we run away.
But we all leave together because we all came together. Now, if you want, when he walks back in, I'll tell him what our goal is before we give him information. Make sure he's amicable to wanting to trade and give us some supplies to help us. Unless you want to take the lead on that.
No, you totally can take the lead. You've been much more organized than I have. You made a list and everything.
Let's, Andy, is there anything else you want for that ship? On Argo, is there anything else?
Well, I just, well, shields would be good. Obviously, there's damage to the hull, it seems like. Maybe something to fix that. And then, whatever reason why this ship was orbiting around a dangerous sun without getting away from it could probably be fixed. That'd be good.
I think that's just the AI being lazy and they need a pilot to do that.
That's possible too. That's true.
Okay. All right. So let's breach. Let's bring Telemachus up to speed on our intentions.
Most, as you say that, you hear a knock at the door, like, no, like you can hear it's like, I've been brought here, hello, and then it's like
before Telemachus can finish speaking, Andy does that thing where the doors barely open and she pulls her in and closes the doors.
Yeah, you can see crackle boxes in one of her hands, and she has got this milkshake in her other. She's like, oh, one of the dwarves sent me up here. Apparently, we're having a chat. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Like, it sort of like jumps off, and this Wizmo runs off, and she has this ridiculous, almost the size of your beer mugs, is this like milkshake. She's like, it's not strawberry, but it tastes great. I don't know what it is. It's something about a groomer grape.
Where's mine? You didn't get me one?
Well, you're drinking beer. Like, it sort of looks over and points at the table.
Well, I'll trade you. No. Next time, though, I'll take a milkshake.
She genuinely takes a moment going, like...
Next time, I'll take one with you, Telemachus. But I'm glad we were able to get you one.
Thank you. And it's like got this curly straw. It looks ridiculous. You think they've probably taken her in somewhere and said, how do you want it? And she's told them everything. And she sort of comes and pulls up, sees all these big chairs at the table, sort of hops on the one next to Andy, loudly shuffles up to the table. Is like, and reaches over to some of the food as well and starts putting it on like her plate. So, what are we doing? Hey, what are we asking? Why did they? Because last time I spoke to you were on the bridge, and I came back and you were gone.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing: that weird crystal we found that is in this Blister's chest, and she points to Blister.
Yeah.
Is what they're looking for in the sun here. And they really want it, and they're acting like Blister is really special for having it. So, we also can't help but notice that the green it's giving off is not unlike the green on the object you received, and they also mention Ancient Elvish, which is also...
Wait, she reaches into her front pocket and puts it out on the table, and it is this smooth, like, almost grey, granite-like rock, very, very smooth with that elven written across it.
It just keeps glowing. It's really annoying.
Okay, well, we're not sure we should share that with them yet, at least not without knowing that, they're not going to do anything bad with it, and without knowing that we can't, get some help from it, since we do need to fix the ship.
Rock is... Yeah. That rock is yours, Telemachus, and you don't have to trade it away unless you want to. It's your decision.
I won't. I know how deals work.
I bet you do.
How'd you think I got this milkshake? This is my
Because
second
I said,
one.
hey, let's get this kid a milkshake.
Yeah. How do you think I got all the extra bits on top?
Because
And
you know
you
how
can
to go
see
work.
all of these like extra bits sort of piled up on top. And she looks very happy with herself. She does look very, very happy with herself. And she
So, okay, so we don't tell them about the rock. Blister's got something embedded in his chest that they want. And we want to get stuff off of them. Also,
It
I
would be-
noticed on Argo, the navigation system, the natural AI piloting, autopilot doesn't seem to be functioning fully.
That should really go up pretty high on the list.
The navigation doesn't work.
It could just be Argo, to be fair. He's
Well-
using something called Google Maps.
I'm not very fond of pilots and autopilots when I'm on the ship itself, if that's okay.
Okay. I mean, I
But-
used to fly it, but it'd be quite nice if I could do other stuff.
Well, I'll be happy to fly it if you and Blister would like. I don't want to take anybody's
No,
job. but
I'm good. I'd much rather go in the lab with Auntie.
The AI decided to put you close to a sun, so we kind of don't trust that. And my other ship is missing, so
Telemachus, have you figured out anything about the rock? Have you had a chance to look at it any closer? Has it done anything weird yet?
It's mainly just glowing.
If
I can't do much with it without showing people right now.
yeah, I know. I just think we should be careful. I just don't know. What about if you like hold it near Blister?
and she sort of like leans over to the side with this.
Andy is like watching really intently right now, like.
And Blister, you get like this static shock.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pretend to pass out. I'm gonna-
And she's like,
Oh,
I'm alright.
Andy, if you scan them, do they have the same properties show up? If you scan both those rocks, are they the same properties?
no!
Or is
Heavy.
one...
Go ahead.
No, that's a spoon. What? No, the other button there.
I haven't quite figured this out yet.
I'm going
Scan.
to try to scan them. I don't know if they're mechanical, but I'll try to scan them.
Mechanical, no.
Okay,
This is
so I won't
definitely
get any scanning of them, right?
You get nothing off of it other than like an energy pickup. It's more that you get an energy pickup from it.
Yeah.
And Andy, you sort of hover over it, and you can feel the energy. It seems to be a similar energy from what you got from Blister, but it doesn't seem to be exact.
Yeah.
That-
They definitely seem related. There's definitely something between them.
Her rock could be an astral compass to find the ores that Blister has. That's what that could be.
I mean, without further testing, that's like a huge leap of assumption, but actually it's quite interesting.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Well, see, you're coming at it from the mind of a pilot, so you think immediately of pilot thoughts, which is interesting, whereas I would think of something else, but I like this.
Then we're agreed to disagree that we both could be far off and that I'm probably wrong.
Maybe
No,
it's,
it's possible.
I'm okay with that.
maybe it's a
It's
wee
entirely
babby rock.
possible. Ooh,
Well, I
maybe.
suggest we chug one more beer and then we invite this gentleman back in and get down to business. Because I want to get off this ship as fast as possible.
With as many
Understood.
supplies as possible.
I'm gonna go knock on that door and where he exited from.
As you knock, this little screen pops up, and the dwarf says, "Like, I'm just on my way. Give me a moment, please, friend." And it switches off again, and very quickly after, it's like shh, as the door opens. He seems to have got changed into a more relaxed sort of, still a uniform, but it hasn't got like the gold braiding. When you're first meeting someone, he seems to be wearing something very similar to what everyone else wore. And he goes to sit down. He spots Telemachus and he's like, I see you found your milkshake. I didn't know we did those. So, did you have these questions you wanted to ask me? I would like to help however I can.
Two things. Have you ever heard of Astrogation Inc.?
Astrogation Inc., yes I have. They are a very large corporation.
What do they deal in?
It is not so much what they deal, well, They say they don't, but my sources and sort of mixing with them, astrogations deal in information. They are a company where they have a lot of what is it they call it? You know, a lot of fingers and a lot of pots. Is that how they call it? You know, they have a lot of people everywhere. They like to explore the universe, find out as much information as they can. In fact, it's through one of their services that we found this sun.
So, do you know of a place called Titan Stargazer?
Titan Star. Oh, you mean the port?
The port, like the young lady's shirt says, I came here and all I got was this stupid shirt.
Yeah, no, I have one of those. My sister bought it for me. It doesn't fit me anymore.
Where is that at from here?
Oh, you have to take one of the light speed section portals. You know, it's one of those main places where the time zone doesn't really matter. It's quite nifty.
Sure. Lightspeed section portals. Thanks. That was just some personal information I was looking for.
That's okay, but you want to make sure you get the right thing, otherwise you don't know where you're going. I mean, there's this thing called void fish, and we get the infestations of those this time of year, so...
I'm sorry, did you say void fish?
Yes, void fish. You don't know what a void fish is? Have you not come across a void fish?
No, I have not.
Okay, so you know those big, weird, jelly-like creatures with long tentacles you get in the sea?
Sure, yes.
Yes, okay. Well, they're normally very pink. They're very, very vibrant, very, very colorful. They tend to be bigger than the ship. The only thing is they don't tend to do any harm. They're just a bit of a pain in the ass. They sort of drift through space. If you hit one by accident, particularly in the top height, you can see all the galaxies, and you don't know which galaxy you're going to end up if you hit it.
Avoid void fish at all costs.
Yeah, it's more of an inconvenience.
So, down to business then. I talked over with my friends here, and we have collectively decided that obviously you're very interested in the Nomad, the rock he has,
yes,
this crystal, but you kind of mentioned something that kind of throws us for a loop, and that is it helps you in a war. So by default, if we give you information, we are doing what we don't want to do, and that's pick a side in whatever war you have going on in this time zone that could have so many butterfly effects.
Understanding, my friend?
But at the same time, I mean, so you understand the importance of that alone.
Of course.
At the same time,
you don't want to involve yourselves in other political matters.
Well, especially with all the time dropping, like the butterfly effects of what could happen, specifically something that I fear might happen. But we also are in need of a lot of things. And so I guess we've decided that we'll answer your questions if you can assist us in our travels to move on when this conversation's over. Because our ship needs a lot of help and we need a lot of supplies. So we don't drift near a sun again.
I did notice that you were doing that. It's why we came to check on you. We'd never, your ship does not look built for drifting near suns.
No, it does not.
And you notice Lamkus has not taken off her big sunglasses yet.
So if I may rattle off some things, and again, I think the information we're giving you based off of what you told us is very, very important to assist you. So we don't really think we're overstepping ourselves here. But in exchange for whatever information you require, we need that ship upgraded and fitted with better navigation, some sort of shield system, some supplies. Blister would like some beer. Our AI would like the vending machines filled. That's quite not that important. And just maybe some upgrades to the piloting mechanics itself and how that ship flies itself. I don't know if you're able to do that.
Can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Sure. Do I have any advantages or anything like?
One advantage left.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could assist, but you do have an advantage, I think.
Okay, I will use the advantage on this persuasion check.
Not 20. And this dwarf sits there and nods. You see that sort of that salt and pepper beard, very silvery sort of moustache that now seems to be freshly waxed. Sort of rests, and he nods to you and he's like, of course I will help you any way I can, especially if you are willing to help us. I can certainly fill your vending machines. I've never heard of an AI that wants that. It's very interesting. I have certain shields that you can fix to the outside of your ship, and they can wire in and power up as you go. I can even send some of my men to help fix it on there for you. And the navigation system should be very much a matter of uploading. So, of course, I can send you some of our software if you don't mind using it.
I'll tell you what, our little friend there with the milkshake is a super genius when it comes to this sort of thing.
She's hilarious.
And I think that it will be to her discretion to see these operations done for our ship. At the same time, you might have some technology here that we might be able to borrow to upgrade our ship as well, if you would allow me to look into that. And if that's amicable to you, then I think we'll answer your questions to assist you. But understand that we don't want to know any kind of side effects that this may take in the war. This is just information we're giving you for you, and we don't really care to hear what you're going to do with it in the war against another society or entity of people.
Of course. And you see him, he looks over at Telemachus, who's like got that milkshake in her mouth, and like gives him a salute. She's like,
No one makes modifications to my ship unless I see it.
and she sort of looks at him, and he's like, fair enough, of course. Yes, I'm sure we can do all of that. I don't know what sort of things I can have modify your ship with. It is literally a mining ship. I can maybe get some sort of heat-resistant panels to...
Oh, that would be really good. It was very unsafe. I didn't appreciate what was happening to everyone's retinas being scalded by that sun.
I am shocked that you were this close. That's why we checked in on you.
I don't think it was intentional.
You must have some upgraded navigation here. You must also have some ornaments, weapons to defend yourselves. By default, us giving you information, we are, again, like I said, picking side in the war, so we need to be fitted to defend ourselves or escape anybody that may get this information. You understand?
We are not a warship. If you have had a look at it, you can see we have no weapons built into the ship. We have a few guns, like just the energy pistols. That's mainly to kill off the parasites on the way into some of these stars like this. When you get the energy drainers when they come in, you are welcome to those.
Oh, we've had those.
How about this, good captain? Everything we talked about, and then some sort of writ of compliance with your word that we're trustworthy and that you owe us a favor. If we come across someone part of the organization you're part of, they could help us in the future. Is that too much to ask for?
If you are helping me, then you are a friend to the Adamantine fleet. So yes, if you get stuck, then I can't promise how big a favor they will give you, but I will put your names there.
How about, something in writing, so if we find one of your warships of your fleet or somebody that they might be able to help us where you cannot and help us fit the ship a little bit better. Is that okay?
Of course. I will put your names in the system.
Are we all agreed on this? Anybody else have any other requests? Telemachus?
Telemachus is shaking her head as she drinks that milkshake.
I mean, did we
pudding.
request that? Can that go in the vending machine?
You can get it in wee sausages.
Ah.
It is true, it is a delicacy here. We have plenty of it if you wish to have it.
Yes!
Andy, anything else?
Rubbing alcohol. Apparently we have none.
This is fine.
Don't
this
read
is
into
fine. There is no problem for we can help fill your medical bay. We have a very large medical bay ourselves because lots of burning things. It's parasites. We come into contact with a lot of accidents, so that is not a problem. We can fill out your med bay with anything you may need.
Okay, can I do an insight check now to see if he's lying to me and has no intention of keeping his word?
Sorry,
Did
can you
you-
say that again? My thing broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said now that this is done, can I do like some sort of insight or investigation to see if he has no, to make sure he's keeping his word, he's telling the truth right now? Not trying
Yeah,
to
do an
swindle us.
insight. Do an insight.
I think my good rolls are
You
over.
are rolling good today.
Oh, I rolled another good one?
Yeah, you
Oh,
rolled
right.
another
Oh,
20.
all right.
He does seem to be keeping his word. You can tell that this is a man that's probably pretty reliant on people keeping their words as well.
Shake on it.
It's like, of course I will, my friend. And he shakes. You feel a very firm grip, and there's a smile beneath that beard. It's more you see the moustache go up than you see the actual smile itself. Now, and you can see him typing all these things as you're saying it into his screen. He's like, I will have my men start getting it ready for you. You can take it as soon as you go. But now, I wish to know where you got that amulet and what it can make you do. Lister, wasn't it?
Right. Well, I got it from this planet. I just found it in a building, so there might be more there if you're lucky. I can give you the coordinates. I'm sure Argo still has them in their memory banks. It lets me fly and breathe in space, and I can create stuff with light, and I just create a little, I don't know, a spoon made out of hard light, and it works like a real spoon. Tap it on my knuckle, you can feel it. It's real.
And he's feeling it. It feels like a spoon. So you can manifest anything you want.
I mean, honestly, I need to read all the spell descriptions accurately, but yeah.
This is fascinating. This is very, very fascinating. Because, you see, when we have the rocket itself, we have been doing tests. It's not quite pure enough, so we can't do this. But you seem to be able to manifest things through choice on its own. It manifests things on its own.
No, it sort of spoke to me about that. It sort of said that wait. It
spoke to you? The nomad spoke to you.
Aye.
This is interesting.
It said that it could take over my body if it needed to, but it's really a bit of a bother for it. So it didn't want to do it.
So is this a mutual relationship you have with this thing, or do you fear it?
I don't know. Should I? It lets me make stuff,
Interesting. So you cannot manifest food or something and actually consume it. It is literally
just hard stuff. Like hammer, nails. And they don't last either. Can I get rid of the spoon?
Interesting. Okay. So. And you see him sit back into his chair, fingers together and ponder for a moment. This is interesting.
Captain. In the you were gonna try to save the ship, and you came to its aid with not even a call. I can only sense that you have good intentions and you're good people. So, and you're willing to give us a lot of information. So, in good faith, maybe there's a piece of the puzzle that you're missing. So, I think in fairness, we should show you something else. And I'll kind of nod to Telemachus to.
And Telemachus puts down her milkshake and sort of reaches into her front pocket and just pushes this stone across the table, which he watches her do it. He watches, his eyes follow the stone.
This is fascinating. You can,
and he doesn't reach out to touch it. He sort of reaches his hand out to hover over it. He's like, you can feel it radiating.
This is interesting.
Yes, upon scanning, it did seem to have similar energy frequencies to the other stone. So.
And you sort of see like a raise an eyebrow and pause, like, it is got Elvish written on it.
Yeah, we found that
Elvish.
too.
Of course it's Elvish. Yeah.
You don't seem to recognize that like you did the stone in Blister's chest. You don't know what that object is?
No, I don't know what this is. I mean, my Elvish is pretty rough, as you can imagine. Let me get my translator up here. She's very good. Where's me? And he sort of presses a button. He's like, "Hey, come on, can you send Mary up, please?" Yes.
I just realized.
Yeah.
I just realized I have identify. I like never look at my spells in this game because we like do so much like good RP and I just like lean into it and I never think of looking at my spell list. I'm so sorry. I just noticed I have identify. May I like while he's like turned and calling for the translator, can I just like give my hand a few more smacks?
Yes.
And then like hold it over and then cast identify.
You can. You hear him just sort of like talking the thing like, Carmen, can you send up Mary, please? And also muffins. We are out of muffins and we would really like some more in the thank you. Yes. And it sort of switches off. And Andy, you're sort of holding your hand over this. And for a moment you can see this like purple glow almost come from the tips of your fingers, and it's like it's drawn into the elven words on the top of this stone. The captain doesn't seem to be looking. He's too busy like ordering muffins and his friend to come up. And the sense that you get from this is that it's old. And you sort of pull it back up. It's like you pull the energy back up and it sort of shoots into your hand. And it comes up with a scan on that screen on the back of your hand. This thing is old. In fact, there is not a star date on it. There is no register of how old this item is.
Oh.
Sorry, I was ordering muffins. You know how it is. Mary will be up in a moment. And then you hear like a shh, there we are. This is Mary, and like this woman comes in this thick, like blonde braid all the way up the top of her head and all the way down. And she smiles and gives a bit of a nod. And he's like, "Now, Mary, this is the drug. We know that my elvin's a bit rusty, and thank you for the muffins. But also the elf in here, I don't know what this is. So if you would be so kind." And you see Mary sort of like give you each a very sort of friendly nod and look over. It says seed. That's about it. It just says seed. I'm afraid that's it. He's like, "Oh, thank you, Mary. If you wish to stay, you can. If not, you may go." And like she's like, I'm gonna go. Thank you. And sort of gives you like half a wave and backs out and leaves.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, what a top woman. She's great.
Oh, she is. She's fantastic. I hired her years ago. Best thing I ever did.
Oh, it says seed.
Apparently.
Maybe we need to put it in like the dying sun or something. Maybe it's not a mine. Maybe it's just fertile ground. That's just me jumping to wild conclusions.
I will say that the sun that is dying, we are actually limited to maybe 2 days here before it implodes.
Well, maybe if Telemachus allowed it, you could show your scientists down that are trying to get the reading on the small stone you already have. Maybe it can touch. It made Blister faint earlier when they got too close to each other.
That was just Blister being Blister.
Yeah, no, sorry, that was me. I was putting that on. I was pulling your leg, getting to know you. Oh, look at him. He's got such capers.
And the captain looks over. He's like, I mean, if the young one would like to take the rock herself, then please feel free. It would be fantastic. And Telemachus is sort of like reaching over the table and pulling the rock back. He's like, I could go down, but I'm going with it.
Come on, kiddo, I'll go with you.
Okay, and like slides off the chair.
I'd very much like to go to that lab also, and I mean, if it's an option, if we could not throw this amazing object into the sun, that would be my first request until we know more about it.
We weren't doing that. I don't think that was on the table. I think we were just going to touch it to the rock they had in the case downstairs.
Yeah, right. That's right. Wasn't on the cards
Do you
at
have any
all.
other questions, Captain?
Well, if you please follow me, I can show you to the labs.
Do you have any other questions before we leave?
I would really appreciate those coordinates as to where you found the amulet in the first place, and also any information you have on that place, anything that was recorded, video, so that I don't get a surprise. Because I've never heard of this rock not having been mined.
All right, yeah.
It's not normally just laying around.
That's fair enough. I'll just nip back over and speak to Argo, get the relevant logs. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'll just do a quick solo mission. Don't worry about the shuttle. I'll just fly across.
Okay. I mean, the shuttle isn't a problem.
Yeah, and I just start floating again.
This is extraordinary. I will make notes on this too. And he starts to walk out of there. He holds the office door open so that everyone can leave.
Yeah, I'll just nip out the docking bay and just run over to Argo, do a quick parlay.
When I walk through the door, I'm just gonna look at the captain and go, "You satisfied with our agreement?"
I am.
I'll be looking to call in a favor on that writ with our name somewhere in the future for the ship.
Of course, if I am able to help, I will help.
Thank you.
You have given me some vital information.
All right, I'll head out. We'll head down.
Okay. So, Andy, Vega, and Telemachus, you can follow the captain down to the labs. Andy, that scientist who you saw earlier, sort of gives you a little wave as you come back in. It's like, hello. Right. Oh, well. And as they sort of show the rock, it's like, well, isn't this fascinating? And they actually get these big tongs and pick it up and move it onto this almost like scales where it looks like it's weighing it, trying to work out what it's made out of, general carbonate sort of thing as well. Blister, as you head back onto Argo, you are on Argo, and the first thing you're greeted by as you get there are all the Wizmos pressed up against this glass as they can see you drifting your way over to the ship. And they let you in, and they sort of climb all over you as you start to do this.
So I'm guessing I've landed somewhere like the airlock or something. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna put it in the airlock. That'd be cruel. But just outside the airlock, I'll make a hard light jungle gym with just things they can destroy.
Yeah. You can use stuff which seems to maybe have been in the supply room at some point. You see bits of piping, bits of empty bottles that they've already emptied. You can make this sort of chaos, and some of them are in there fighting over them, ripping the bottles to shreds, throwing them, almost displaying their might and their power to each other. As they do this, sort of wheeling up and around, just lapping the inner side of this airlock. But you can walk in, and Argo comes back, and it's like, oh, it's just you again then, is it?
Yeah, Argo, you remember where I found this amulet?
I mean, I can look it up.
Yeah, exactly. Look it up. Grab all the logs, all of the files, any video file, anything like that. Just get it all. Put it all in one big old zip folder. And stick it on a flash drive or something for me.
All right. And you see this screen, and that dial-up tone when it used to be connecting to the internet and you had to use the phone line. That sound starts to come through this screen. And he sort of like twitches every now and again. This face twitches. He's like, okay, I found it. And it sort of pauses, and it shows you a video footage of you sort of walking about the city, going into this house and seeing this call out. And could you please roll me a perception check?
I am loving that attempt making dial-up sound in chat there. That's beautiful. That's not bad for Bluster.
Yeah, you look at this video and you are watching yourself as you leave. You walk down the gangplank of Argo, and you've also got Argo, which seems to be on the worst portable screen. It's literally a stick with like the screen you're talking to now on wheels, shuffling along and not doing well on the rocks, like it's vibrating as it goes, as you seem to be talking with this Argo on screen. And you walk through this city and you can see there's no sound, but you can see Blister maybe like sounds like he hears something, that you hear something, and you lead towards the house that you remember that you felt this calling to you, this amulet reaching out and calling to you. On that perception roll, you notice there's someone following you that you didn't see before. There is this spacesuit.
Oh, that's weird.
Walking. It seems to be trying to keep out of sight of you, like you can see it move to get behind a wall to watch where you're going. It doesn't interact with you at all. You don't remember any interaction. You watch it watch you collect the amulet. You seem to have a conversation with the Argo screen. It watches you leave. And it watches you get back on Argo and fly away.
Say, Argo, we've got a copy of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep it handy, will you? I've got a feeling that
Hang on, let me copy and paste. Like, and it's like, you can hear him physically saying, control, like, C.
Argo, you
like,
don't have a keyboard. I know you're just doing this to annoy me.
You don't know I don't have a keyboard.
You're an AI. Hurry up, would you?
Did you get my vending machine snacks?
Yes, they're gonna be very, very full.
Fantastic, because the vending machines have been yelling at me for like 3 years about it.
Alright, well... Oh god, they're not still hooked up to the self-destruct, are they?
I think they're starting a union.
No. Well, anyway, yeah, great. Anyway, make sure you got a copy of everything I'm taking over. I'm taking this over now. I'll see you later on.
Yes. Okay.
And I will fly back across to the other ship.
Okay. We're gonna head back over to Andy and Vega as you stand in this science lab and you watch these all of these dwarfs sort of huddled around this rock. They look fascinated by it. You can hear some of them talking about the age of the rock, saying that they haven't got any data on it. They don't understand. Their computers must be broken, like to send for the technician and stuff like that. They seem to be more confused, not taking it seriously of the actual star date. But they seem to be, they sort of approach the rock very carefully. They never hold it themselves. Telemachus is sort of like, you can see her like craning over every now and then. She gets like a stool to move them out the way and stand there. And they start prodding it, probing it. They pick it up to hold it near this other rock. And nothing really seems to happen other than that you can see that green glow again on the elven words. Is there anything you would like to do?
When I did hold it up to Blister and he pretended to faint, he never told us he felt a shock, right? So it seemed like it was entirely made up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wouldn't even know about that little bit. Andy's just definitely smiling and nodding when they're like, our stuff must be broken. This time reading's wrong. Just like, that's what it is.
I mean, if Andy's looking as well, like, you can see that there's like what looks like static energy, but what you see is almost like the static you saw in Blister's eyes earlier.
I mean, they're definitely connected somehow, but I don't know. Your readings aren't showing specifically what's happening between the items?
We can see like some sort of kinetic energy. They seem to be reacting to each other, but they seem to set each other off.
Do you think that there's maybe another object required to complete the entire process?
I mean, perhaps. We're going to have to, I understand that you are not staying with us, so we will take as much information as we can from this, if that is okay, but of course we will return it to you. We're going to start testing it with some of the other material we have found in this dying sun.
That object stays with Telemachus and leaves with Telemachus. That was the deal we made with your captain.
Of course.
So you're gonna
Of course.
You're gonna run tests you doing now until that young lady's tired of being here, and then it leaves with her.
And Telemachus is like, I'm never tired of being in a lab. It's all right. Like, and sort of like is quite happy about it. It's like, of course. And she may be as involved as she wishes. And in fact, she seems to be making herself so. And you can see somehow she's acquired a lab coat from somewhere.
Well, she also has other duties, and that's upgrades to our ship. So speed it up.
And so they sort of look not shocked, but like, oh, yes. And they start researching more. And the captain stands there with like, he's got his hands behind his back. He's sort of just like rocking forward, just looking and waiting for some sort of like thing.
And the piece you did find did come from this sun?
This one, yes, it did. It came, it's a very mangled sort of piece. It's very impure, so we can't really get anything out of it. But it's evidence that there is, there must be some deeper within the rock.
And is this the first piece you've ever collected?
No, but the only other, let me show you. And he sort of takes you over to this cabinet, which he slides across, and it's this glass cabinet. And you see these tiny, like minuscule bits. They all sort of, you wouldn't, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would have just completely passed it by. It's like, we have found these little almost like particles, I guess, but we sensed it, we followed it here, and this is the biggest part we have found until all of you.
Has it always been in dying suns, though?
It seems to be generated by that sort of thing. However, it seems to be in very specific points. We're not too sure why or what makes it so specific, but we've only been to one other location that has had this.
That was also a dying sun, or was a planet, or something else?
It seemed to be a star.
Interesting.
It was deep into the Star Elf territory, so we didn't stay there long.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your tests. You could go ahead.
Not at all. This is absolutely fine. Look at the scientists go. They love it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Of course, you may, friend.
Why don't you see if Telemachus' stone there has some sort of reaction to heat?
Oh, it's radiating heat. We've already got the temperature up for some reason. It's when it gets closer and closer to the other rock, it seems to generate over 1,000 degrees centigrade.
Well, this really isn't my forte, so can I ask one more favor, please? Is there some sort of digital print, photograph, or anything that I can get you to take of the Argo 37 ship right now, what it looks like? Is there anybody here that can help me with that?
You want a pretty picture?
Yeah, you know what? A pretty picture from a couple different angles of the Argo 37.
Oh, yes, camera, go get the camera. Like, and you see, like, this dwarf rushes off
Perfect.
out the room and comes back in with this ridiculously huge camera, like this massive lens, and what looks to be like a beacon of light. What is a flash on the front? Is that I will get him to put on his suit and go out and take an all-around 360 if you wish.
Thank you. I would really appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yep, come on, out you go. And he sort of like salutes in this suit and runs out. And you can see, like, as you stay here and you sort of watch this, you see this dwarf on like a rope drifting past the window with this big flash every now and then that sort of glares across this lab. And Blister, you can just about arrive back on the ship.
Hello.
Are you heading straight to the lab, or are you doing anything else?
Yeah, I'll head straight down with my flash drive in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you head down, and the captain spots you first. He's just like, "Oh, friend, you're back. You really did that with no suit?"
Yeah, honestly, you just sort of get used to it after a while.
Is it not chilly? Sorry, I'm just interested.
Not that I've noticed, no.
Okay.
Here's the flash drive. Got everything you wanted on it?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Will you come watch it with me and show me?
Yeah, sure. You gotta watch out, dude. There's some creep down there that's been that was apparently watching me. I never really watched the footage back, but I had a quick sneak peek whilst I was waiting for the AI to download it. And there was
a creep. What do you mean by this?
some person in a spacesuit watching me while I'm down there.
And you didn't know they were there before?
Nah, they were like proper being shifty.
Please show me. And he sort of walks over to a panel in the lab. This lab is huge. Like, there's lots of screens in there as well, lots of tests being run. It doesn't look to be just on this rock, it looks to be other things as well. And he puts like the flash drive in, and the video pops up, and all of you can see this, and you see, as Blister described, that there is someone in a spacesuit walking behind Blister, watching, never getting too close, never making full contact. And you see Romand sort of looking, and again sort of playing with his beard, twizzling his moustache every now and then.
No, this is interesting. This is very interesting. This is not the first time I have seen this suit.
Oh. Someone you know, is it?
No, it's like an anomaly. It pops up. Let me. I don't think I have anything in here. It pops up throughout history. Sometimes they're crucial times. Sometimes not. But maybe they're crucial and we don't know they are. But I've seen that before.
They're just full of like legends and myths and superstitions, right? I didn't realize dwarven miners were so like, you know, hoobity-doobity.
I'm not hoobity-doobity. This is space. There's a lot of stuff out here. I don't think it's some mystical god or anything like that. I think there's someone in a spacesuit walking around.
Alright, then I was just saying. You were saying they seem significant.
They do, though.
You were assigning a lot of gravitas to them. Good word, that, gravitas.
It is a good word. Hold on. It is interesting, though, that they should appear when you find the amulet.
It means importance.
Can I peek over and look at the video and see the person in the spacesuit?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look anything like that person? Because he did say, remember, Blister talked about seeing me in 1996 in our time, and I always seem to be showing up at opportunity times, and with my mission, what it is. So I guess I'm going to be a little vain here and just look if that person walking in the spacesuit has any mannerisms that would be familiar to me.
Roll a perception check for me, please.
Okay. And I think I'm out of advantages, yeah?
Yeah, you're out.
Okay. Perception.
Okay. You watch this, the way this person moves, the spacesuit moves. There is a familiarity, but you're not sure why. I really picture though Vega actually having this notepad.
I do. I have this notepad I take out of my vest. I write some things down.
Like a space detective or something.
Kind of hide it from people when they look over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but that's where I found it. And there's the coordinates, and,
Thank you, friend. We will probably head there very soon.
alright, yeah, watch out for your, space creep.
Apparently. But thank you for your help. It genuinely is appreciated.
I'm trying to remember, like, I don't know, dwarven, farewells and stuff, what is it, live long and prospect?
I mean, if you want.
Rock. Oh, I win.
Yeah. Rock on. He says awkwardly at you. Now, anyway, we have only 2 days until this sun implodes. I believe we have all the information we need on the stone. Thank you, young lady. And Telemachus sort of gives a smile and a nod and somehow has secured another milkshake. And I suggest you get moving because it is only going to get hotter here. I've had my men fix the shields and whatnot on Argo. And we have your photos. And he sort of like gestures as this guy comes in with these big pictures of Argo, literally look like they've just come straight out of like a dark room. And
Thank you very much, Paladin Hulk, who donates to reward me for live long and prospect. Definitely encouraging
feeding
my
a bad
behavior.
habit. Like, and he's like, it is something you should probably give yourselves a day's warning or heads up for, because you're going to be riding the wave out. You will feel it even a few light years away.
Yeah, maybe we should get going since we're not quite as, even with the fix-up, maybe not as well suited.
We did try to upgrade your AI, but it put up quite a bit of a fight, and it was very rude.
Oh yeah, that's Argo.
Interesting.
Got a lot of personality.
You could say that. You could say that. And he sort of gives a smile. He said, well, it was, you may stay for food if you wish it. If you wish to get moving, that is also fine. It is down to you. And Blister, I believe it was, I have put many a cask of ale on board your ship for you.
Alright, lovely.
I suggest it is drank at room temperature.
Right. Which room?
Which room would you like to keep it in?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I keep it in a cool room, then it's going to be cooler than if I, like, keep it in, I don't know, the...
And like he lets out this really big belly laugh and slaps you on the back. He's like, "You are funny, my friend," and starts to walk away.
He's even like, no, but really, what's room temperature mean in space? Like...
And he looks at you, he's like, will you stay for dinner or would you prefer to get moving?
I'll look to Vega and Andy.
I'm ready to go.
Telemachus is like shuffling the rock off the thing and stuffing her pockets with stuff.
I was gonna
Double check those upgrades though before we go, as agreed upon.
Of course, it has already all been done. You may scan it before you leave.
We'll leave that for our genius over here. I point at Telemachus.
she salutes. We're pretty sure her pockets have other stuff in them from this lab that probably wasn't asked for. So, my friends, I will do the shuttle for you. I know one of you doesn't need the shuttle, but I think it will be more comfortable for the rest of you.
Oh, those pictures, Captain.
Yes, they are here. And this dwarf comes in with these big printouts. He's still half in a suit with the camera like slung around his shoulder.
I fold them up and put them in my bag that I always have with me. And Captain, can I have your name one more time, please? Forgive me.
Romand.
Romand?
Romand. R-U-M-A-N-D.
Of Dormant, right?
What's the
Romand.
corporation you represent?
I represent the Adamantine Fleet. We are in no direct conquest. I do not fight. But we are hired by them.
Well, thank you for everything.
It is no problem, friend. Now, perhaps our paths will cross again.
Perhaps. And I start heading for the door.
Yeah, you can start heading towards the door and where the shuttle is, and you can see that other dwarf still there, like gesturing as that sort of spiral door opens, and you can walk into that tube with all the seats, like the red, almost like velvet seats in, and sit down. Blister, how are you getting on the shuttle, or are you going on the outside?
Oh yeah, I'll get on the shuttle. I was just showing off earlier because I wanted to see what the thing could do.
Yeah. You can get on the shuttle. Telemachus sort of hops on. Her feet don't quite touch the ground. Neither yours, Andy, as you sit on these chairs. And the captain gives you a handshake to each and every one of you, even to Telemachus, and smiles as you get sent off back far on this board. And Kamek, as you get towards Argo, opens up the ship's doors and says, friends, thank you. We've also uploaded our coordinates and our intended destination. Obviously, things don't always go to plan, but our intended destination. So if you do run into any trouble or seek help, I think your AI is updated enough to not navigate itself into a sun again. However, it gave up a pretty good fight. But please, thank you for your help. As it was a pleasure to meet you. And he does a very quick sharp bow, and the door closes, and the shuttle disappears.
Does this mean Argo's gonna change?
I thought they said that they couldn't change Argo.
They said they were trying and kind of cut up a fight. Let's see if this thing's piss poor attitude is gone. Any machine filled, for crying out loud.
Oh great, I can get Mars bars again.
And Telemachus runs off towards the ship, and you can tell she's going off to go and scan everything and make sure everything's updated, and she knows how's it working.
As we get close to it, I can scan from 30 feet any kind of tracking or surveillance devices. Did they put anything on the ship?
Yeah, no, you can see nothing. You have landed on the ship. There is nothing on here. It looks like someone's cleaned it as well. So it looks pretty fresh and not just smelling of bleach, like actual clean. And you can see as you're approaching it, that dent's been sort of bumped out as well. You can see these big, huge, orb things that have been fixed to the side where you can see they're generating these shields. But what would you like to do on the ship? As you can see, this huge dwarven vessel start to move.
I'm going to go to my quarters, and I'm going to make that very familiar notch on the bottom panel somewhere, and see if there's already one there.
There isn't one there.
So I will instill the first one, and I will pull out my chronometer, and how many days in my time just living have passed since Earth 1969. By my calculations, it's been six actual days.
And it has been 6 actual days.
6 days? Okay. And the other thing, is irrelevant because he said you need a light speed sector where they don't line up. So trying to track those years are irrelevant. But it's been 6 actual days. Wow, what an adventure in 6 days! I say to myself loudly, awkwardly in my quarters.
I don't think I was supposed to hear that, Vega, but I'm out here and I'm thinking about getting an ale if you want one.
You know, I was just thinking the same thing, Blister, because I know you don't remember me, but I would love to at least start a new friendship and share some stories.
I'll drink to that. I'll drink to most things. Let's go. Let's see if Andy wants one too.
And Telemachus. Maybe a milkshake.
Oh,
We should have got a milkshake machine for her.
You walk past, she walks past the door and she's just like, I'm already sorting it, and walks past and like she keeps going.
Yeah, let's find Andy and
I'll create some hard light drinking mugs.
You gotta drink it fast because it lasts for something like how long?
I don't know because I haven't actually looked at the spell list.
If you're creating multiple, they last for about 15
Would
minutes.
these count as a melee weapon?
Do you know what? Yes.
Oh no.
You can technically throw it, it's solid.
It doesn't actually have a time limit on creating hard light constructs if I make melee weapons, so...
Well, there you go then. You might have to, I'd say you'd have to focus on something if it was particularly...
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
like
focus on
the-
like having a mitt full of them, you know, like it's one weapon and then split them off.
Yeah, no, you sort of like focus really hard and this one big one splits into 3. And you can fill it up with ale at these big kegs that now seem to be sat in the supply room, which now says a sign that says no Wismos across it, very much written in Telemachus' handwriting.
That's a brilliant sign.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know yet, but good first mission. We got lots of victuals just for giving them some information about some rock. Good day, I say.
Telemachus, the upgrades look good to you?
Yeah, we're all set to go.
Who wants to be the one to page Argo and see if all of our dreams of this AI have come true, such as changing?
I kind of like Argo.
I don't like my... So look, let me put it like this, Andy. You know my wrist device, right? Telemachus, you've seen my wrist device, right? Responds, right?
Uh-huh.
My wrist device doesn't argue with me. If I'm building a dresser with a hammer, my hammer doesn't yell at me. So, I mean, that's just how I view it. I know maybe you guys all might have a better view of it, but...
But
I
he's
mean-
quirky.
The arguments
And,
have
I mean,
kept me company.
Yeah.
All right, I'm outvoted, and that's fine. I can live with the attitude of Argo. I'll try to bond with him over coffee or something.
I mean, to be fair, they did say that he could steer away from this location because he was on some archaic system called Goggle Maps. So, like, that's not entirely his fault.
Well, we have an upgraded navigation, so we'll give him a second chance, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Argo, do you
Can I-
want to join us for an ale?
A screen comes down and a much clearer image sits there. Fine, just pour it into one of the waste disposal units. Who was that who came on? They got rid of my Google Maps. Do you know how useful those are and how long I've had that? However, I now can do 2 things at once, but only 2.
It's about the Google Maps are about as useful as getting you close to the sun and not getting far away.
Oh, they've updated me with this new thing called Waze. It's quite
Oh,
interesting.
perfect.
It's quite
Should give you some
interesting, really.
fair head warning.
Look at my new icon. Like, and you see this little head.
Perhaps I should just wear my helmet full time in case we do blow a hole in the side of the ship. But we'll
Oh yeah, I keep meaning to fix that.
There is a whole ship. But you can all sort of pour these beers out, and there is a table that also seems to have been set up, not on the bridge, but on that sort of area. And it's a very round, very metallic table. And Telemachus seems to have set up just some of the new food that has come on board with this. And there's the milkshake there as you walk in, and you can see each of you with your beer in hand. You sit there.
I put Cackle on the table right next to me, pull out his little Elvis thing and the little squeeze eye thing I got him.
Yeah, that's all there. That's on the table. You can see the Wizmos are all currently pressed against the dash screen window.
Well, where do we go to next?
I usually just let Argo drift. I mean, I suppose I could try and get like back to Earth or something, but long way.
I guess this Blister wouldn't be privy to this information, but I'm on a mission per se to find something. I just don't know what it is, and I found no information based off of where we were just at that leads me to deter from what I was pursuing before. This is when we met up with you again. We were at that Stargazer base. Oh wait, I have the information. I'm tired of waiting, you guys. And that information I hacked, I'm gonna finally play it. I'll play it about Argo 37 first, then I'll play the part I hacked about myself.
What is it you are asking this effectively?
Remember,
I know that's the information.
Yeah, I scanned and pulled all the info. So basically, how often did Argo 37 through space go to that space station? Was it there before any of these people were even part of it? What are the logs of how often it's been there? Because I remember Alara and Blister were very shocked. They said they had never been there before. Then it was like, welcome to me.
You pull up all the information on Argo, and it seems to have been made, or parts of it have been made in lots of different places. It has been at port before, and it was at port. There seems to have been a disruption at some point in time. You can see where it was registered as an official transport ship. And then there was something that made it blip off the map and disappear. It was then not seen for hundreds of years until it reappeared again at this port with no one on board, but many, many cryo chambers filled with sleeping people.
And any of the cross references of where it was built, like any of the manufacturers, anything, I'm gonna cross reference it with my name.
You can see not your name come up. You do see the astrogations, however, does come up at some point. Not necessarily to make it, but it's had some involvement with it before.
I'll kind of relay that information to everybody. And then I'll pull up the file on me of, my travels to Astrogation Inc. the same time every year, doing business with them, room 37. And then I'm going to look for what ship I came on, such as that massive ship I had the vision of exploding that said Aviate on it. So I guess that's what I'll be looking for in any files that I hacked with myself.
There is very few files on you. In fact, it looks like something has been wiped on purpose from it. However, there is a picture of you. You're in an Astrogation's uniform, and it says Agent Alpha 88.
Is there a time stamp of when that was?
Nope, there is no timestamp. In fact, it says not applicable.
Time not applicable, you said? Is there any Wizmos with me in that photograph?
There is a small crackled box sat on the side. It looks similar to Crackle Box, but it's much bigger, it's much clunkier, and it's not very colourful at all.
Well, not much useful stuff on me. Well, here's to adventure.
The adventure. It even looks slightly
Andy-
green if I roll it around quick.
I was gonna say, Andy holds up her mug, but instead of drinking it, she stares and then holds up her analyzing hand to see if anything happens when they drink from these weird energy mugs.
I freeze.
No, you, yeah, you're right. Maybe I should scan Blister first.
You drink out of this, and if anything, it's like you have no taste of like glass or metal or something that you can normally drink out of. It's weird. It's almost like your lips go through this green like makeshift glass, and it feels like you're just drinking like a floating liquid. And could you all roll me a perception check, please?
No. Why does Blister suddenly keep rolling well on perception?
I know, this is not something I'm used to. Okay,
Oh, I did good again.
so Vega, you're so like trying to figure out what this glass is as you feel it, but you can't feel it there, but at the same time. And you're watching like Telemachus sort of start picking food onto her plate. But Blister and Andy, out the corner of your eye through the big winter room, you can see the Wizmos starting to hop up and down, bang against the glass. As you see that dwarven ship, it's sort of like disappearing now as you're leaving away from the sun. It is staying by the sun, but it's you that are moving. And there is a strange blink, almost like static, like a glitch in the air, and the Wizmos seem to be picking up on it, jumping up towards it.
Well, what is it?
What's what?
I don't know.
Argo drops down on the screen. We have a little bit of problem. And as he says that, the screen turns around for him to look outside, and flickering almost like static into existence is this strange, nightmarish shape as this inky black shell-like, not even an orb, just a strange shape. It's a sort of made out of a black shell, almost completely featureless, with completely smooth curves. So it's sort of give it a very alien silhouette from every single angle. Is a ship flickering into existence. It's almost like the static that you did, how you remember flickering, disappearing. This picks up as Telemachus sort of drops her milkshake and runs towards the front and starts like slamming buttons trying to find out what is going on. And she's like,
This is impossible. That's not possible. That's a Rothian ship. It's just winked into existence. It's come from a different timeline.
What's a ruffian?
What's a ruffian?
that's where we'll leave Argo.
Ah!
7 this week.
Oh, mass confusion. The best place to leave Argo 37. Whoa. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming along and supporting the stream today. Look how close we are to our stream donation. Thank you all for your generous support. It's been amazing. We do have credits to outro with, and so we will most certainly be doing that. But please check all of the closing links before we go, including all the places you can support us, find our community, and be involved in the fun. Thank you as well. I got some DMs during the stream, which I'll respond to very soon. Thank you for reaching out. I really love it when you do. We'll get you games and all that sort of good stuff in good time. The waiting list is actually quite low at the minute. It's around 40 people. So getting a game now may get you a game before November hits us. Also check out our sponsors, Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, because they make this all possible. They've got some wonderful content over there. We have if you use the code MHPSCRAT on the Mage Hand Press website, you can get your very own copy of Dark Matter in PDF form with a 15% discount. So yeah. Until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions, and we will see you later on. Bye.